How about now? There we are. Can you hear me now? I'm going to end this real quick and just restart it. Yep, okay. Thanks for letting me know. I should just... Okay, let's try this again. Alright guys, good morning. It is October 15th, 2018. Our trend biases for the prior day. The ES is neutral, NASDAQ is bullish, Dow neutral, Russell bearish. Overnight we are neutral in all four indexes. Getting everything twice. We are neutral in all four indexes. Overnight, shorter term time frame, bearish ES, NASDAQ bearish, Dow bearish, Russell bearish. Midterm time frame, ES bearish, NASDAQ bearish, Dow bearish, Russell bearish. And on the longer term time frame, the ES is bearish, the NASDAQ is bearish, Dow is neutral, Russell is bearish. For the bell at 8:30 a.m., retail sales in the New York State Manufacturing Index numbers for October. After the bell at 10 a.m., business inventories, 11:30, the 3-month bill auction and 6-month bill auction. Before the bell, BAC, SCHW, and then before the bell tomorrow, we have BLK, Goldman Sachs, Johnson & Johnson, Morgan Stanley, United Healthcare, and PLD. For our previous day's summary in the S&P 500, right here, the bell-to-bell high was all the way up at 27.79 quarter. The bell-to-bell low was 27.32 quarter. Settlement 27.68 half. Value area high 27.72 quarter. Value area low 27.44, and the European close 27.65. Volume on the session 2,700,000 contracts. Still really heavy volume here, guys. Overnight high 27.71 quarter, and then the overnight low 27.45 quarter. Floor trader pivot points, support and resistance levels. We got R4A all the way up here, 28.62 half. R3 28.34.75. R2 28.07. R1 27.87.75. The pivot point is 27.60. S1 coming in at 27.40.75. S2 27.13, and S3 26.93.75, with S4A down at 26.74 half. 10-day range analysis. The previous day we had a 47-point range. Our median is now 32 points. The maximum has been 90.5. For the entire session, 52.75, 35 and a quarter median, and then a maximum has been 119 points. Pretty crazy. Overnight, 38.75, and then the first hour, 19.75. So still plenty of range expansion here, guys, although I think we'll probably be smaller than those numbers here today. Index strength, percentage change from settlements for the trading days only. NASDAQ, big winner on Friday, up 2%. Though Russell was the only market down. So there's a huge difference between the Russell and the NASDAQ as far as relative strength. Over the last 5 days, the Russell is the weakest market. The NASDAQ is the strongest after that recovery. And over a 10-day time frame, the Dow has the strongest performance, and the Russell is by far just getting crushed. Over the last 20 days, the Russell's down 10%. That's a big move. Let's take a look at these markets. I want to go to gold here first. Gold's getting a really heavy reversal out of a profit target. getting a really heavy. So we had this extension that we were looking for on Friday, and that extension ended up trading a couple of these old, there's a couple things that did not trade in here. The extension here that I had up 1202 to high, 1202 to high. So this traded once, it traded twice, 3 times. You can see we literally just tagged that negative 23% profit target, and then that same anchor new high brings us down to the 38 and 50% retracement zones for an entry. 1223 half would be that first level I'm going to look for. So I'm going to mark at or below that. And then after that, I'm going to look for the 50% retracement at 1219. Now, if we lose those levels, trend changes, but right now, I'm not anticipating the trend to change. Those are the setups I'll be looking for. See, on the higher time frame, I also had a bigger level of this 1234, so I just want to go back and double check where that came from. Yeah, it's basically these highs here. These highs. Yep, it's also this 50% retracement here that traded and broke. So that's from the low of the 16th of August. Too high, we traded it, we traded it, we traded it, we traded it, we ripped, we completed after we broke. So just something to be aware of. If we don't hold this extension, we can come all the way halfway back long. For the Dow, backing out to the weekly chart here, guys. Very important level traded last week. We talked about it. The low of the year, which goes all the way back to February, to the high of October, which is the high of the year, traded a halfway back last week. So this is pretty significant. Very rarely do you get this full halfway back. That level was 25,027. It was marked up Thursday, marked up Friday. You can see Thursday, we traded it. We dipped a little harder. Friday, we barely dipped. I'm just going to continue to respect this level until we get it closes below. Until we, really break down heavily below it. Opposing that on the short side is the low of last week on Monday to low. Low of last week of Monday to low. Now, this is an extension that completed once on Thursday. The same anchor new low is intact. That would break at a move above 25,716. Now we do have a leg start here on Friday that was participated on in the overnight session. So that's lower end of the range. Lower end of the range. What I would like to see this market do to kind of squeeze, we might consolidate here. Yesterday was an inside day for the Dow. So it's consolidation. We very well could consolidate here. I'm looking at the top side of the resistance we broke down from on Friday for us to break up and through. Come on. And that's all the way up here. It's like 24,000 or 25,421. Okay, and I'm just going to put a line there. Something to be aware of. Now, if we break down, we don't hold. Our downside targets are going to be the 61.8 of the current draw. So that'd be 24,569, and I would expect a pretty solid reversal from there. For the Nasdaq, once again, going to that higher time frame weekly chart, the low 2018 to high. Now, the Nasdaq was the best performer on Friday to the upside. Basically had the biggest bounce off this halfway back long. That halfway back long for the year is 69.46. That level only traded on Thursday. After that, we had a low to low sequence that broke, and now we're flipping long. Low to high, 50% retracement, upside target. Right here is 72.29, and then our next resistance level that I'm looking at above that is 72.56. So I'm setting alert on that level as well. I would continue to respect this full halfway back long on a retest here in the Nasdaq at 70.40. I'm going to duplicate my box down here. Bring it up. Keep an eye on that. This 71, 73, 75 is still a valid resistance level. It is a valid resistance level. And then we do have a leg start down here that I want to be aware of too. Untested. Untested. Oil, really clean trend down, guys. Not, yesterday or last week, I should say. A lot of great trends in the indexes. Oil was trending too. This full halfway back from the high of last week, the low, something I'm really going to be looking at. That's 72.95. I had my alert set. We talked about this last week. It also lines up with the low of last week on Monday. And then this 70.69 has been support as well for quite some time. So right here, this is also the gap fill going back to the 23rd of September. For the Russell, this is the weakest index. We traded extensions to the downside. I want to be aware there's an old target in here. I'm actually going to get rid of this halfway back short that's above, because that's not going to be coming into play for quite some time, so it's just taking up space. Alright, so we completed the extension short target on Friday. The negative 61.8 is going to be down here at 1509. So that would be that next target completion. That's pretty far away. Pretty far. 30 points. So I don't know if that'll complete. So I do want to just kind of mark that up. And then I'm going to bring this down. Just want to be aware of where that is. It's not necessarily a level I automatically want to step in and be a buyer on, but I do want to be aware. Of that target. I do want to be aware of that target. We also have, because we've completed this same anchor new low sequence, So if we run all the way up into this level, 38% retracement, these are going to be sell zones as well. At 38 and 50% retracement, remember this is the most bearish market. The most bearish market. Now that would be interesting if we did end up trading into that short and then completing the target, because that negative 23% profit target would line up with the old negative 61. With the old negative 61. For the S&P, we have the low of last week on Monday, the low, and that is still resistance. It has not completed its target. Its target completion would be 26.75.75, and then I believe that would break the full halfway back for the year. The full 50% retracement for the year is 27.38 here. The full 50% retracement for the year. It's a very important level. All right, and that's going to wrap up the indexes this morning. I will now take the stream private for members only, and there will be a new video link in the room, and we'll talk about a couple of currencies there. So I'll post it in the Discord, guys. Everybody have a fantastic day, and I will catch you guys later.